Hey, what's up everyone? DREAGEN back again with another edition of the Kaiju commentary. Today we are watching Monsters Dark Continent, the movie that had me hating it, then loving it, then hating it, then loving it, and ultimately settling somewhere in between. Anyway, you'll hear what I mean when you listen to us. Now, when you see the Vertigo logo appear on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. We're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hello! Welcome to edition of the Kaiju commentary. Today we are watching Monsters Dark Continent.
Whoa. It's the critically acclaimed Oscar and, Grammy I don't know.
Teen Choice Awards, Nickelodeon, MTV, whatever. Yeah, no, so this is the sequel to Monsters. Gareth Edwards did not direct this film because he was busy working on Godzilla. But he did produce this one. It is essentially a sequel to the first film, only in that it is taking place in the same world. But beyond that, it is a whole different story, different characters, different region. Yeah, so this is the only real complaint I heard about this movie, is that the characters are kind of really dry. It's all like, yeah, we're gonna do stuff.
Yeah,
we live in a world, monsters.
I like the way this world looks already, though.
I'm edgy, stuff, things, life.
So magical.
But yeah, no, like the first one, this is like a very kind of gritty movie, very kind of raw, realistic. So it does feel like a sequel to the first movie in that sense, where it feels like it's a part of the same world. It kind of has like a Bourne. Hey, he popped his it.
Ew.
It kind of has like a Bourne, Jason Bourne type movie feel, where it's very like, again,
intense.
I don't know how I
and
feel.
actiony.
Huh?
Intense and actiony?
Yeah, I mean, this one's a lot more action-oriented than the first film. I think the characters are more interesting in the first film. I'm not really a big war movie guy. But in terms of, like, what's going on in the movie, there's definitely more happening in this one. So for people who thought the first one was a little boring, this one definitely, I guess takes care of that. And also, too, the difference is the first film was about two people who were stuck on the other side of this infected zone, who were just trying to get back, whereas this is following a group of people who are there on purpose. And visually, it does have a very kind of cool, like, gritty feel to it, which I like movies that kind of like this kind of raw feel, especially when you're dealing with subject matter like this. I think movies like this kind of work to get people who aren't really familiar with kaiju films maybe like interested in watching them, because it feels like more accessible. Whereas you jump in with something like Pacific Rim, while we love that movie, that might feel like a bit over the top for someone who's not accustomed to
Wasn't that kaiju just... No, that's a corpse.
Oh, that one's a corpse. There was
the
another
other one. Wasn't just one destroying the city, just out in the background.
You know.
Everyone's just driving around and
making its way downtown.
I like it.
I also like seeing basically the monsters in this film, how the difference of them being in like in a war-torn country versus like in Mexico, whereas people in Mexico were just actively living around them, whereas in this film it's more like a war where they're battling them more.
This is kind of like Pacific Rim, where it's just like days, like it's just normal to have kaijus walking around.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome.
Which again, I do like that premise for a movie. I mean, I think the initial instinct for these kind of movies is to always again like the origin story. Where I like kind of seeing stories where it's like, yeah, this is the world. So I think the fact that this feels like the real world makes it a lot more accessible. Like basically, if we're ever gonna get a Pacific Rim, when stuff first happens, this is what it's gonna feel like. And then after a few years of this, we're going to be like, so giant robots. You want to build some giant robots, right? I mean, because why not, right? Also, these kaiju look different than the ones from the first movie. The first ones were like more like big land-based octopi. These are more.
These look like spidery things.
Yeah, they're more crustacean looking. They're more like aggressive looking.
I'm relieved that we saw a shot of a kaiju already. I don't know. For some reason, I just was worried we wouldn't see one forever.
I mean, this movie does have a bigger budget than the first one, so you're going to see more of them in this movie. Again, I think the characters are less interesting in this movie, but in terms of just kind of visual, eye candy, there's definitely more to look at in this movie. So, again, some people were like, didn't like monsters.
Joe Dempsey, is that the main guy?
Is he famous for other things?
Isn't he one of the dudes from Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
Isn't he the guy that played what's his face? Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the guy plays what's his face? Yeah, that guy.
He probably does have a face.
But what's it?
No, it's not. That's it.
That's his actor.
Yeah, he played Gendry.
Okay. I'm the only one here who doesn't watch. Correction, I'm the only one on planet Earth who doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
I didn't look at that guy's face that much.
I wouldn't know. Sorry. And I just said something like blasphemous.
How do you not like it?
It's not the main guy.
It's just not for me. And because of that, now I'm going to get like 1 million unsubscribers to this channel. I don't even have 1 million subscribers, but people are going to subscribe just to unsubscribe.
Yep, I already did. Game of Thrones is awesome.
Hey, more power to you. I'm one of those people where I'm like, if I don't like something, I don't tell other people not to like it. I'm just like, hey, you like what you like. I'm usually the guy who likes stuff that nobody else does, so it's kind of weird when it's the other way around for me, when everyone's into something and I'm like, not. Whereas usually I'm like, hey, this is a great movie, and everyone's like, that movie sucked. And I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, it's this kind of thing where it's like we're like the street rat kids, kind of. And I'm just kind of like, no, okay, I don't care. Also, it's always the kind of thing too where like I joined the Marines, therefore because I was a nobody. I mean, there's a lot of intelligent people who joined the military, not because they're just street rats, street youths, just because hey, I want to join the military.
He's going to talk like this the whole movie to us, isn't he?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Why does nobody have blinds?
Because this is the streets.
Hang up a
we live in
damn
Detroit.
blanket over your window. I don't know.
We don't have blinds.
We can't afford them.
We don't have blankets.
Cut a trash bag over it.
We don't have trash bags in Detroit.
Jesus.
In the streets, there are no bags. You carry your groceries with your hands. That's why we wanted war. I'm just gonna do that for everything.
I hate it when there's always voiceovers like that. I get it, but
I mean, a little bit is okay.
When
but
you
it's
get
just
birthed
like
in a bathtub,
it's in like half the movie already.
You gotta show it in slow motion. It's life. It means something.
It does.
It changes us all.
Like
That's what it's all about. Life and death. It's integral. It's all
baby.
linked. I'm just gonna do this the whole movie.
that water would be way nastier, by the way.
you don't need to think about that.
You listen.
They're like, we can't be that gritty realistic.
Yeah, like-
Listen, there's a
We don't even want to do that.
there's an extent to how gritty realistic.
Yeah, like hold up. Still science fiction. Let's lean a little on the fiction here, shall we?
In this world, birth is nasty.
They probably had all kinds of like biologists to make the creatures in this movie as realistic as you possibly could make it. But when it came to childbirth, nope, we're gonna have like Aquafina water. Like, nope.
Water.
Actually, the water would have been, nope. We're gonna have some fucking smart water where that baby's coming out of. Yeah, you see,
I can't bring myself to care about these.
Yeah,
people.
and that's my point. These are our main characters. Yes, it's realistic, sure. Yes, it's gritty, and that's fine. here's the thing.
I'm kind of confused on like where they are and what's.
Yeah.
Well, this is like before they deployed out to like Middle East. Yeah,
Okay.
they're going over there because of the monsters. They're that's now.
I kind of tune out his voice when he starts talking like that too.
Yeah, I know.
I had a teacher like him in high school that you were in his class, you just fall asleep because it's just so dry and monotonous.
We gotta deploy and go on an
But
airplane.
at least he had a handlebar mustache, so it's kind of funny. And everyone played
Hey,
pranks on
if
him.
he had a handlebar mustache,
It would not make the movie any better.
No, but
I mean, it might make it a little bit better. When in doubt, just give your characters a handlebar mustache because it's not going to make it worse.
That's not.
Just Photoshop handlebar
I
mustache
was
on
going to
everyone.
say what we need is somebody to superimpose a handlebar mustache on every single person.
Even the baby.
Yes.
That baby was born with a huge handlebar mustache. I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Dirty cheese.
Yeah, again, I'm just like, if the ground opened up right now
I thought
and
they were.
swallowed these guys up, I kind of would be okay with it.
I thought we were gonna get put right into the thick of like
I know, I did
kaiju
too.
wars and.
I was excited, and then now I'm
This is
just
why
sad.
Pacific Rim started like 20 years after the war started. They could bypass all this. Yeah, let's go ahead and just cut to the giant robots because.
When did this come out?
This came out 2014. It came out shortly before Godzilla, which again is why Gareth Edwards didn't direct it because he produced it, but he didn't. He was Monsters got him the gig doing Godzilla, so he was kind of busy. I think he co-wrote this one though. I know he produced it, but I think he might have written it. I'm not sure. But I know people said like the characters were not nearly as interesting in this movie, but this movie looked really good. So it's one of those weird movies that people were like, yeah, it's not a great movie in terms of like who you're following, but it's so pretty to look at. And I remember seeing like shots in the trailers where you see the monsters so huge moving across the desert.
Can we skip to that?
Come on.
We'll just play that one part of the movie over and over.
Hey, this is a gritty human drama right here. This is important.
I don't.
We're being made to care. I care. This makes me care. And I'm hoping if I say I care enough, I'll actually care.
No one gets it.
Again, and I always try to point this out to you. These actors are doing a fine job. It's not like they're acting bad. It's what's taking me out of it. It's just you can be the best actor in the world, but if I don't care about the character you're playing, it doesn't matter how realistic your portrayal of that character is. It's like, no, I don't care. Again, fuck this place.
I agree.
Yeah,
Hey, I agree with him too.
yeah. Let's go
get
to
to
a.
the
Let's move this
monsters.
movie on to a better.
Let's go to a desert
better
shithole where giant monsters are. Actually, yeah, I said that. Or I meant to say that like ironically, and then I said it out loud. Like, yeah, no. Actually, that sounds way better.
Oh. Man. What the
There we
fuck?
go.
Is that supposed to be a
Now
baby
I'm
one,
more
or is
okay
that
with
something
this.
different?
I think I can't know if it's the babies or just another species of them.
And the parent. That's fucked up.
But again, that's my point. Like, these are our main characters. People who like support dogfight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
again, it's always the problem when you do
Instantly
movies like
trash
this.
people now.
Well,
for
yeah, and
me.
that's always kind of the problem when we mean. Again, this is always the problem you run into
Ugh.
when you have like
Oh
a.
god, it's a. Ugh.
Do you have a thing with tentacles?
I'm imagining Clarota's mouth eating someone when I see that.
You would not like Lovecraft.
I would prefer. This
I mean,
was-
tentacles are fine. I'm appreciating how gross they are.
Yeah, and now you guys have to fucking do something with that shitty thing. So now that dog died for nothing. I know it's a movie, but I hate these people so much right now.
They're trying to.
And then they have to fucking show the like, what the fuck?
again, this is one of the things I learned early on. Is like when they do movies like this, it's like the problem with gritty realism is that there's a reason why we like movies. It's because it's an escape from reality. So even when you're going to have a realistic movie, quote unquote, it can never really feel too realistic because you have to realize that at the end of the day, we're supposed to care about what happens to these people.
Nope.
And if they feel too real, we don't care. Because in reality, I'm like, the people in the first film, we kind of cared about who they were because they were just, you know, good people who were trapped on the other side and they were just making their way over, trying to get back to the U.S. from Mexico. You know, these guys are just like, yeah, like...
This could be like a lovely redemption story.
Yeah, but...
And you gotta start somewhere bad to get somewhere good, right?
But here's the thing, like, I don't even care about it from, like, the sense of, like, the monsters. Like, this could be literally just a war movie of these guys going to Afghanistan, and I still would be rooting for the other team. Like, I'm like, okay, well, why are we so much better than them over there? Like,
well, if I didn't figure out anything about these people, I'd probably root for them. But now
and I think that's the mistake. I think your gritty war movie needs to just be the gritty war movie taking place over there. Because the problem is, like, A, this has nothing to do with the movie. That was the thing the other movie did very well. It started in Mexico, and it was all there. And when they got back to the U.S., the movie was over. The movie knew what it was. This is just like, this is taking too long to get to what we... Especially when it teases you in the beginning with, like,
I thought we were right in it.
Yeah, like, this is where the movie should have just been there. It should have been like, these guys over there, you find, okay, yeah, we're from Detroit, yeah, we're all from a shitty neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. That can be explained in passing. Just do some dialogue. Hey, remember when we were blah, blah, blah? You know, yeah, we get it. From the project's fantastic.
That could have been a much quicker monologue, or not monologue,
because
montage.
It felt like we jumped away from the movie. It felt like literally, if you would have started the movie and then cut it to this right here, where it began, like, okay, we're introducing our characters right here. They're there. Because none of that stuff served.
Then we would instantly hate them.
Well, and that's the thing. All that stuff did was it didn't tell us anything we needed to know about them. All it did is make us not like any of them.
I do like how those things look.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. The movie looks cool.
Yeah, look at that face. You're fucking terrified.
But now I want them to die. Whereas before I'd be like, oh shit, man, these are our soldiers. These are U.S. soldiers. Like, you don't want them to die. After seeing all that, I'm like, yep, I hope they get butchered, all of them, because they suck. They're shitty people.
Maybe that's their point. Maybe the monsters win in this one.
And in the first film too, those could have been some super shitty people too, but they never showed their shitty past. They just kept it on the ground.
Except for the creepy guy who kind of got drunk and came on to the girl.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he didn't, like, rape her. He didn't do anything. He was just coming on a little strong, but compared to these guys, like...
Oh, yeah, no. I'd take him any day.
Yeah, well, and that's my point. Gareth Edwards did a good job of knowing what to show and not to show, and, you know, that's one of the criticisms people give him, that he holds back too much, but it's better to hold back too much than to show too much. Like, if I had to choose one over the other... See, but this is cool. This is the entire budget of the first movie right here.
I know, right?
Yeah, these things literally feel like something out of Lovecraft. Like, this feels like right out of the...
I like they look really good.
Well, yeah, no, they're a really cool design. They feel alien too. Like, the idea of these things dropping to Earth as spores and then just growing. And I like how they look different from the ones in the first movie, so it kind of implies that they're different environments involved, make them kind of develop differently.
Do we know how long they're supposed to have been around? Like, how normal are these things now?
I think it's around the same amount of time as the first movie.
How long was that again? Like 20 years or something?
Yeah, around that. At least a decade.
So, like, these assholes shouldn't be, like, hooting and hollering that they almost got grabbed. And, like, I feel like... they're making it too normal, like.
Especially this is their first time seeing it.
I know, but I would just be shitting my pants. Like, I wouldn't be like, woo!
Yeah, like, why the fuck are you flying so close to that long arm?
Like, it's a great shot, but realistic.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying.
I want it to be realistic, but I don't feel like that's a realistic response.
Well, this movie is all style over substance, whereas the first movie was the exact opposite. It was substance over style, which again, why some people thought it was boring. Because it was much more like it wasn't a gritty movie. It was a very down to earth movie. This movie is about being very kind of edgy and hip and raw, which works. I like edgy shit. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this movie is. It feels like it's trying to be that, as opposed to just organically being that. Like, just have these soldiers fighting these monsters. Like, the nature of what this is edgy and raw. You don't need to have a 20-minute like cutaway of them being jack-offs in Detroit. Like,
I don't know, maybe they do something with it later. Go back, pull back to how shitty they were.
And die?
Yeah. And then, you remember how shitty these people were and you feel better. No, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Something happens, but it did feel weird. And it just made me more confused on what the fuck's going on in this movie.
The only way I feel that could have integrated better would have been if maybe... And again, hey, I didn't direct the movie, so what the hell do I know? But it's maybe do little cutaways of flashbacks throughout the movie. Like, little just bits of it. I mean, I'm fine without it. But if they really wanted to show it, I think just kind of sprinkling it in from each character's perspective as a cutaway, when they're in a life or death moment, you have a quick moment where your life flashes before your eyes, kind of thing, and a little 3-minute sequence of
the 3-minute sequence of the titty orgy party.
Yeah, or with
some character development.
Yeah, you got to get some character development, right? It means something to him. That's why he's fighting to live. Getting them titties. Or when his kid's being born, he's about to be crushed in a helicopter, and it cuts
flashback to titty orgy scene.
It just keeps cutting back to that. I want it to be my ringtone.
For a staff sergeant, this is a weak insult.
I know. Part of Team Tiger Shark. I want to be part of Team Tiger Shark. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's so
I mean, their audience was young men, apparently.
And I hate sports, so this makes me want them. I'm more offended by this sequence right here than I am anything else I've seen. This sequence alone would make me, all right, kill them all. Kill them all. It's I don't...
So manly and macho.
Again, I get it. It's realistic.
It didn't feel natural.
But I don't. But I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather be right now in the bunker with the egghead scientists who are trying to figure out the monster's weaknesses. I want to be with Newt and them, getting the kaiju guts all over the side.
I guess my thing is, I'm yeah, it's your realistic take on fighting.
Who's the other guy?
Alien threat or whatever.
I know Gorman.
Gorman.
I think is the name of the actor of the other character. I forgot his name, the character. But yeah, those two characters.
So I was watching Always Sunny, and that guy pops up, and he's a scientist, and he's
Charlie
doing...
Day?
No, the other guy.
Oh, okay.
He pops up, and he's doing experiments on Charlie Day. And he's a scientist playing the exact same role,
basically. Yeah. But that's the thing. But
I don't know. I just feel like they didn't want to do the thing where you have the special monster fighting unit, but that's what's interesting. Yeah, it's unrealistic, but I would rather have a movie where they're a special monster fighting unit.
But see, that's the thing. Granted, this is more realistic. Yeah, these are real soldiers. They would be actually fighting. I don't care. I want to see the science fiction monster fighting unit with
what I'm saying.
The cool suits and
because I guess I just don't get the point of having aliens or monsters in a movie. They're trying to make as realistic as possible. It's just boring. I don't know.
Well, again, and this is...
I don't like war movies, and that's just what this feels like to me.
Which...
I just have zero interest. Even with a cool monster.
And again, I think this movie, it appeals to a very kind of... It depends what you like. If you like these kinds of movies, to you, this is probably the greatest monster movie ever made. Because for you...
Well, yeah, but...
But at the same time, like there's a great horror movie called Dog Soldiers, which is about werewolves, and they made it very clear they're making a war movie with werewolves in it, and they did a good job of balancing that out.
Still good.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. They balanced it out. It was realistic in the sense that yes, the maneuvers were realistic, but they still felt like characters. You know, if you look at something like Aliens, you know, all the Marines, the characters who were Marines in that movie, they actually went to like boot camp. They had a drill sergeant, but they still feel like characters in a movie.
Yeah,
there was a good balance between.
It was like a sci-fi creature feature first, and that second, where this is like a war movie first and a monster movie second.
Yeah. And again,
which I'm really sad about.
Why? I don't want to see this shit.
Don't work in the meat department then.
I did, but you don't fucking put a live chicken in a garbage disposal or whatever the fuck that was.
Bringing you to the setting.
Again, I feel this movie appeals more to people who probably are not into kaiju films, who are more into like I said,
movies.
Yeah.
Movies.
Again, this is a good.
Movies.
Again, we're complaining more about it because we care more about the kaiju stuff, and to us this feels too real, not kaiju movie. But if you're someone who's not really into these movies or is very new to these kinds of movies, coming from a very kind of I watch real movie, real drama kind of movies, this is probably a good segue. This is probably a good like gateway drug of a movie. So for someone like me, I don't really care for it. But if it was someone who like just literally just watches, I don't know.
I still have a tiny bit of hope, just a little bit.
Again, this movie's it's a very well made movie.
It's still starting. Could be a slow burn, right?
Like a torturous, awful slow burn.
But that's the thing.
Not over yet.
There's nothing wrong with this movie. It's just it's a matter of personal taste. But I think it's like you guys were saying that this movie was really not meant for.
No.
Made for like kaiju fans. This movie's made more for, normal normies, I guess. Where it's like, and again, this movie is saying something. Like you see the stuff like this. This movie is about something dynamic, but it almost.
But see, I appreciate they're trying to be like, oh, they're nice. But
the problem,
you guys are all douchebags with your tiny orgy party.
Exactly. Like if that whole 15-minute sequence had not been in the movie, this would be more impactful.
Hey, the army has made them really nice. The rigorous training and constant, being tired all the time, it's made them really nice.
Yeah, but again,
their drug using, days. They're dogfighting days. They're better people now.
Again, if this is like a series or a mini-series where you have like 8-10 hours worth of time where you could really stretch that, okay, it means episode 1 was a long time ago by the time you get to the end of it. But this movie is 2 hours long, so right here we're getting to a point where we kind of need to start seeing them as like good people. But the sequence of them being complete pieces of shit was only about
I still don't understand why they're
50 minutes ago.
I still don't understand, I don't know.
Well, they're dealing with the issue. Basically, now the whole issue of the Middle East has gotten worse with the with the kaiju that are now there. So they're still dealing with the problems.
Weren't the kaijus back home too?
They're in Mexico. We had built they landed in Mexico and they started. We had built a big wall, essentially there, to kind of keep them out.
The dogfight? Wasn't that in Detroit or was that?
That was in Detroit, but that thing was probably there illegally. Like someone black market brought that little one in. But yeah, because
it's a lot of money, probably, right?
Well, yeah.
Just for a little dogfighting thing.
Yeah, all the areas where these things are called infected zones because they, in addition to being there themselves, they have an effect on the local environment. Like they produce these spores that adhere themselves to the fauna and grow more of them. So essentially, they infect the environment they're in too. It's not just them physically there. That's how they're able to keep growing and spreading. So they kind of have to quarantine off all the areas where they're at. So basically, they're all kind of relegated to third world countries. Like I said, this movie's well made. It's a damn good looking movie. It's put together very well. And that was always the thing. I always heard about this movie is that even if you don't like it, from a technical aspect, it's a good movie.
just little writing flaws here and there.
You just don't care about. And again, this is our opinion, by the way. If you're watching this movie and you love it, again,
I'm still a little open-minded.
Is this movie wasn't made for me, but it's obviously made for someone.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we always say when you see shots like that. That looks cool.
Yeah, like it's doing some things that I like, so I still have a little bit of hope, but like it lost me a little.
Like visually, it's a very impressive film. God, it's scary to think when you're over there. They said like a lot of the problems here, like the locals, like you don't know who's trying to kill you and who's like, you know.
Yeah.
I know they said there are certain neighborhoods that they don't even like want to patrol in because it's like literally any person there could like will try to like take you out. God, that shaky cam. It's a little too shaky. Come on, put that on a dollar. That'd be so creepy.
Are they walking towards them?
I think they're just moving the distance. They
always look like they're just standing still. It's creepy.
I think it's they're just so big that the movement just looks so slow, but you always see that dust around them. I know there's a shot later on where there's so many of them that like it looks like a sandstorm. Yeah. Because think about it. Think of a herd of those things, how massive they are, like just moving across the landscape.
Looks like somebody might be moving towards them.
Oh yeah.
Or just change direction.
Because of the guy yelling?
Like, why is he still yelling?
Well, you got basically a bunch of dudes just showed up in your backyard with like machine guns. Like,
I know, but it's just like,
oh,
this is what I'm here for, not this.
But I feel like the farmer would be well aware of the giant, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be running my mouth
tall
either.
Monsters.
It's just a salty, innocent dude.
Well, I mean,
he is a douchebag.
Well, yeah, he is.
I mean, that was in character.
I know that guy was fucking being loud, but there was better ways to handle that than to fucking...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess at least they didn't shoot him. Like, that's my thing. I would have been like, dude, shut up. Otherwise, this big-ass
I would have been kind of like, you know, maybe he's a suicide bomber and shot him, too.
I would have just knocked him out right away. Like, I would have just been like, okay, no offense, dude. You'll thank me in the morning when you actually wake up.
My question is, do they have special bullets? Like, how do these things even hurt?
I mean, they probably have armor-piercing rounds.
I guess, yeah. I guess
that's not... Okay. I feel like if it was that easy, there wouldn't be any of these things left.
I know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, well, again, these are soldiers with like training guns. And the first one, they had like the guerrilla fighters who were shooting at with machine guns. But these are like guys who, they have the right tools for the job. Basically, they're there for that specific. I mean, these things are basically anti-artillery rounds. They're designed to basically just tear through tanks and shit. So, but again, it goes to show.
What does that mean against something like from space?
Well,
they could have, you know, adamantite armor.
Well, they could, but these again more realistic kaiju.
Yeah,
If these were like Godzilla movie kaiju, they wouldn't be. None of this shit would matter. These guys wouldn't matter. They would need giant robots because that'd be the only thing that would fucking work.
That was a shit show, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have restrained that guy and covered his mouth or something. Anything.
And again, he's making it point that this guy who's been living there amongst the people, and he's even said too that he's basically seeing them as he knows they're people, whereas these guys are fresh off the boat essentially, and they're like they're just the locals to you. They don't mean it. He's like really like we're here in their backyard, we're here in their home. You have to kind of respect the fact that of course they're pissed off at us. How would you feel if you had guys walking around with guns in your
In your farm.
Yeah, like imagine someone just kind of walked into your front yard with a machine gun, so it's pointing it in your face.
Why
It's
were
like,
they there? I don't know.
And again, like I get it from his perspective why he did it, because at the end of the day, the guy wasn't shutting up. It's like if it's really he would have shot him like outright, I would have been like, okay, that's don't shoot him. Which I kind of thought that's where I was going, but it's.
I mean, the guy who can speak his language, I would have been like 15 feet back. Don't fucking move like a step closer and like open your jacket. You know?
Well, I would have told him,
Instead
listen,
of
either
come up 5 feet within us and then do that.
Well, I would have told him like right off the bat, like either shut up or one of these guys are gonna knock you the fuck out.
Confused. You had somebody as a translator there,
and everyone's just screaming.
Like you don't have to like these guys, but understand they're like 4, 5, 6 trained dudes with automatic weapons. Be smart. You don't have to like them, but be smart. Shut up. Also, you have giant monsters in your backyard.
That was not that far.
Shut up. Like, just shut up.
I wouldn't make sounds for weeks. I'd get my dog to not bark either.
I wouldn't have a dog. I wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, I'd let my dog run somewhere and maybe he'll come back when the kaiju leave.
Yeah, I would not be making more noise than I absolutely.
I'd get the hell out of there. I'd leave my farm.
I feel like it's kind of interesting though, because I feel like at the end of the first movie, they were kind of showing the monsters kill people and they, kind of destroy what's in their path, but it's not necessarily
out of outward aggression.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of were like big elephants.
I feel like at the end they kind of showed how they were kind of beautiful. Is that lame to say?
No, but these also are a different kind.
I guess, yeah.
Well, the ones in the first movie were different than these. They were much more. They were basically only turned aggressive if fired upon, because at the end of the first movie, the characters are literally just staring up at.
Were they still technically sand crabs?
They were more just big octopi on land. They were built.
But they're all bioluminescent.
Yeah, they were all glowy
and stuff. They were really pretty.
Basically, the only time you saw them aggressive was when they were being attacked, but they were always being attacked.
I forgot that you weren't here.
For that one, that was the one we watched with Chris.
Yeah, I forgot.
But yeah, this movie.
So I was like, don't you remember? No.
But again, this movie is basically it's almost like a reboot, a soft reboot. But yeah, these are more aggressive. But then again, they're also in an environment that's more aggressive. Because at the end of the first movie, you see the two characters just looking up at them when they're communicating with each other, and they're just not even paying any mind to those two people because they're not attacking them, so they just don't care. Whereas these ones here, they seem that they're more aggressive. They're more dangerous.
It was still Warzone setting-ish, though, right?
It wasn't a war zone. It was more just the other side of Mexico.
Military, but it's
Yeah, the only stuff in the first movie we saw with military is when we would see some of our planes flying over, bombing them. But it was mostly just these guys.
They were with some smugglers, basically. They were just trying to get through the zone because they couldn't get on a ferry.
Yeah. And you would hear the bombs in the distance, but it was more about just these guys. And the only time you really saw them be killed was when the smugglers shot at them. There's a big one it's basically like when you hear in Africa where when the elephants will move to a farm and the farmers might attack or shoot them and the elephants will turn aggressive and kill them. But they're so
a fur bulk.
That's cool.
Yeah, but they're so big that whenever they move through an area, they cause destruction. So it's basically like they can't really live with people. But on their own, they're not actively out there trying to get us. They're just there. They're
just the way they look, though. They just look like they'd be evil.
The other ones didn't look as like
it's tentacles grabbing around you and sucking your brain out.
Yeah, no, they didn't have like the mouth like that. Yeah, they literally just imagine like a big octopus kind of moving on land.
I like octopuses.
They were less threatening looking.
They had like the 4 or 6 legs, but mostly it was like kind of tentacles.
Yeah. These things look like they have more like features for battle. Like they look like they're more like evolved for aggression, whereas the other ones they just kind of by default could use their anatomy as a weapon.
They look so slow though that like.
Well, these guys. Well, yeah, but I think for that. Look at an elephant. Elephant's not fast.
Oh, I know.
Does an elephant need to be fast? Like, go. Elephant's like, yeah, come at me, come and get me.
Just saying, I need to see I need to see what they can do.
Well,
I'm just seeing them die and walk slowly.
Well, this is also a not a huge budget movie.
I know. It's
so
just
that's why they're out in a desert and not a city.
Is this a scary monster?
I mean,
this is all about these people. Then is this?
If this movie was $150 million, this would be happening in like downtown Los Angeles, right? I hope they all lose their lives. Again, like I know it sounds like we're shitting on this movie, and again, if you like this movie, that's awesome.
I'm still open. I'm not completely glossed yet.
Again, I keep saying it, but I like looking at this movie.
Yeah, I like the kaiju. That's the main. They look cool.
Essentially, this movie is basically Black Hawk Down with kaiju, or that really raw kind of war movie feel, which. But see, I would be more interested in following like characters like the 2 guys who are in charge who've been there, than like the guys who are like new to the scene. Like I want to be with the guys who are like
maybe that's
embedded with this
kind of like what they're going for is showing you how shitty these people are, and seeing how these 2 people can change these people into being like decent human beings. You know, because maybe their story's not all that great.
Oh, it's not. But the thing is, we didn't see it, which is why we like them, because they could have done horrible things before, but we didn't see it, so our kind of opinion of them isn't tainted. Because when I try to feel like, these guys aren't so bad, they're like, and then I think back to that 50 minutes ago, like, yeah, no, kill them. Oh, that's cool. Back. See, I just love that the environment is all overtaken by these. Like this.
So those grow into the big ones, or are they different?
I think these are different ones.
So I was gonna say, if those are gonna grow bigger, why wouldn't they be killing those to make sure they don't get bigger?
Again, the effects in this movie are really good too for a more modestly budgeted film.
It's outrunning them. Shit. Is it playing right now? Is it just playing with them like he's like a dog?
I don't know. I think I think it's like when you like see like gazelle or whatever like run alongside a car.
Oh yeah, I see that all the time.
You know, when you're driving to work. Oh.
Guess somebody wasn't paying attention.
And this is when shit hits the fan? Come on, let's see the swarm, dude. I want to look over the hill and see like a whole field of them.
It wasn't doing anything.
But see, that's my point. That's what I'm.
They're going to outwardly kill it because it's a monster's going to grow into a bigger one. Like, why are you happy that you?
But you see, that's my point. We're supposed to, these are the characters we're following.
I feel like they're trying to show how like look it's
how they're just an animal. Like it's just an animal. It's not aggressive.
I mean, the only thing I can really think of is maybe the allegory of this movie is trying to say like, we are the monsters.
Well, yeah.
Like, look at us.
Obviously.
These things.
Oh yeah. Like that's definitely.
Well, yeah,
that opening, it's like you're supposed to hate these people.
But that's the thing. It's like these things came here from another planet. And they've managed to assimilate in an alien world, whereas we're at war with ourselves. We can't even assimilate with each other, and we're from this planet. Whereas these things came from another world, and look at them. They've managed to fit in. So it's almost like, should we be the ones to make it, or should it be the aliens? You know what I mean? So it does have some interesting commentary in terms of that, where it's like...
I don't think taking the helmet off is the best idea.
I don't think he knows what he's doing right now.
Oh. shit.
And again, I'm supposed to feel bad, but I'm going to be real with you. I don't. He was just hooping and hollering and hitting an animal that wasn't doing anything to them. And you see how the other one ran back to it like it was a mate?
I know.
So basically they just ran over one of their mates. Also, I don't really care about, like, human problems in a world. I kind of feel like this all should have been squashed. Like, oh, that's one thing that
I didn't know, like, what the dynamic was. I thought they were like, you know, hey, peacetime, like Kaiju here, or something.
That's it. And ironically enough, I think that's what Pacific Rim did really well, where they're saying, yeah, we're not at war with each other anymore. We literally have bigger problems. Like, right now, I'm just like, why is there still a war going on? Like, you have giant monsters roaming
but we
about.
have kind of seen that the monsters aren't the problem.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel they should be in a kaiju movie.
Yeah, but
like, even though Pacific Rim wasn't an origin story, they still were saying, yeah, these guys are still the problems. You know what I mean? But again, it's especially because he saw that other one run back to the one it hit. Like, it was like, oh, clearly they were together.
and they're obviously like, they're not just dumb beasts. You know what I mean? Like, they're not just unintelligent.
Oh yeah, well the first movie didn't establish that. They
Yeah.
show them like they're pairing off at the end of the first movie, and then they walk off together. Like, you know, it's like these are intelligent creatures. So I'm just like, I don't know, and maybe that is the point.
Oh God, he's alive.
No.
Well, yeah,
Probably
I guess
gonna
you're.
bleed out if they don't do anything quick.
Or-
But
I mean, he'll probably get claimed by shock first.
yeah,
That's the thing. They would have to stop the bleeding or cauterize the wound instantly,
yeah.
which.
Oh no. That one I feel a little bad about.
Oh, it's the other guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yikes!
Do flies gather around a corpse that fast?
I think it's the smell. Oh, and by the way, I feel I should point out, because I know there's always going to be somebody out there who thinks like, oh, that I'm basically saying that I don't care about, you know, soldiers and duty. And like, no, that's not fine. There are plenty of soldiers in the world who are good, decent people who are not. And I feel like this movie could have been about those kinds of soldiers.
Yeah.
But they chose to make it about these kind of, you know, just shitty people. And I'm like, which I also kind
Oh
of...
no, this is clearly going to be that the Billy Mays looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
Turning these people into decent human beings.
Billy Mays.
I don't know. I can't remember his name, but
But-
that's all I see.
But you know what I mean? That's the thing. And I almost feel that's cliche in a lot of these kind of war movies. Like, all the soldiers are these dumb grunts. Like, there's just nothing. Like, woo, we're all here to shoot gun. I'm like, well, no.
But this is where it all changes, right?
But that's the thing. I've known guys who've been in the
Maybe-
service and military. I mean, I was a military brat. So, like, yeah, people aren't like this. They're normal, regular people who aren't all shitty. So I feel like...
I mean,
making them these soldiers like this, I feel it's a bit of a stereotype. Like, you're making them like these dumb asshole, like, you know, it's always Miller time grunts, kind of like, yeah, let's shoot everything that moves. Like
The titty orgy people.
Yeah, like that's all they are. I'm like, well, no, these are real people who are out over there, you know, not to get.
you've got Staff Sergeant Man. He's carrying the flag. All right, he's a decent human being.
But they could all be decent human beings.
It's just the people who came from Detroit.
But
right?
that the problem is these
Like
are our
that-
main characters.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If this is like the other unit that you hear about, and they're like, you guys should really not go over there, you're gonna get killed, and you're gonna be like, yeah, fuck yeah, we'll be fine. And then you hear, oh, did you hear about what happened to like Team Tiger Shark? Yeah, they got completely fucked up, and like, oh god, we knew that was gonna happen. Like, you know, like that. Okay, but the problem is we're following Team Tiger Shark,
Look.
and I'm just waiting for them all to get fucked up because I want it to happen.
I'm gonna say. Yeah, I like Billy Mays. I'm just gonna call him that too now. I don't like anyone else.
But wait, there's more.
What's it say? Frey? Is that what it said on his jacket?
Forrest, I think his name was.
I couldn't see it. Yeah.
No, he's definitely an interesting character, especially that he's been there so long that
He's got all these shitty, like, you know, youngins watching his back.
And I like the fact that
irresponsible.
When I like that he's as frustrated with them as we are as the audience.
Yeah.
He's essentially us. He is the audience. He's like, you guys are coming over here trying to be rock stars, and you guys realize, no, this isn't a fucking
This
game.
isn't how this shit works.
Yeah, no,
this ain't Call of
And you're
Duty.
gonna learn right fucking now.
Well, and that's my point. And I dig him, and I wish it would be. I would have loved to have seen the story be about a squad of like seasoned vets over there. You know what I mean? Who've been involved with the shit, who've been dealing with, and who kind of have a realistic kind of perspective of what's going on.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the disheveled, you know, having to bring the team together vibe a little bit.
Yeah, it works. But again, if these
How
guys
many times
weren't
do you see
so
movies about, you know, the special forces team going in,
yeah, but there's
doing everything perfectly?
But there's a reason why they do that, because it's way more interesting to
Rescuing
watch.
them.
Like if you would have watched Predator, and it would have been these assholes that were like,
Oh my god, I know.
and even in Predator, like, okay, they were special ops, they still got picked off one by one. Like,
See,
if the threat is really threatening, like you see like the people who are like the best of the best dying, you realize, oh shit, there is something really at stake here. If like the very best, you know, we can produce is having trouble, you know what I mean? But these guys are just like, yeah, these monsters or these people they're fighting could be just like a bunch of 12-year-olds with M16s, and yeah, these guys are a shit show already. Like I'm not surprised that they're, you know, getting pinned down, basically.
But that's like what the reality of war is. Like,
Well, exactly.
a lot of the time, you don't know what kind of person's standing next to you until bullets are flying.
Oh, and I agree. But again, all the more reason why I think they really needed to make these characters a bit more meaningful. Because
Billy Mays to the fucking rescue.
Yeah. I should think the guy, the one who's got his legs blown off. I mean, he just had a kid. You saw. I should care about this right now. He's a dad. I should absolutely give a shit. And this movie's made me do the opposite. Again, right before he got his legs blown off, you see him hooping and hollering when they ran over an animal that was literally not doing anything to him. He was participating in dogfights. Like, just because he's a dad doesn't mean he's not a shitty person. He's a shitty person, and I don't feel bad. Doesn't mean I want people over there to get their legs blown off, but just within the context of a movie, this character, who I'm assuming feel some degree of sympathy for.
I feel a little sympathy right now. This is kind of depressing.
I am a heartless monster. I feel bad for the monster they hit, because that was something that literally was not doing anything wrong. It was just there, and they thought it was great that they killed it. Whereas this guy has actively been involved with, you know, causing harm, and now he got harmed. And it's like, well, how do you think the dog felt when it got its face ripped off by one of the things? How do you think that other thing felt when it got hit by a fucking Hummer? It's like,
the only thing I can hope is that they're still shitty people, but maybe this is the big old smack in the face.
This is the reversal right here.
Yeah. And again,
look at him.
I get what they're.
I don't know. That guy's doing a good performance.
Oh, no. And I need to point this out too. These guys are doing a great job. There is nothing wrong about how this movie is being made. The actors are fantastic. It's just I don't like their characters. But they're playing their characters great.
Well, I was going to say, technically, the only thing wrong with their characters is that they're shitty, but they're doing such a good job of being shitty that we don't
and that's the reason why I don't like them, because the actors are doing a great job of playing them. I mean, there's some characters in movies where, like the guy from Pacific Rim, the first one, the asshole son who was in not Gypsy Danger, but Strike Eureka. Yeah, he's the jerk, but he was cool. You kind of liked him a little bit. But he was like movie asshole, you know, where it's like, okay. These guys are realistic asshole. We're like, fuck you.
Yeah, but you kind of, I mean, for what they're trying to do, I kind of feel like that. Yeah, that's what they wanted.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I'm just saying, it's like, if this is the kind of movie, again, this is a matter of taste. That's why I've always tell people these are my opinions. I'm not saying this is a bad movie and that it was a mistake to make it. I'm just saying, as for me and my personal tastes, it's not my style. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's not for me. But I know there's plenty of people who love this kind of thing. Oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So if you love this kind of movie, you're gonna love this movie because it's perfect. It's literally like, it's right up your alley. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's movies, again, plenty of movies that I don't watch because they're not my style. But I recognize that they're great movies, like mob movies. I'm not really a mob movie guy. Like, you know, I've seen like The Godfather and all that, and it's not really my style of movie. But The Godfather is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can recognize
I
that.
haven't seen The Godfather.
Well, again, I recommend it as one of the best made movies, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it because I'm not really into like those kind of movies about the mob and stuff like that. But they're great movies in terms that they're made so well and they're executed well.
I don't know. This movie's kind of growing on me. Weirdly, it's growing on me.
Again, it's not a bad movie, man.
I'm kind of surprised they're just running, by the way, considering that guy
They were
like
getting
stepped
shot.
down.
Well, I mean, where are you gonna hide? That's the
Well,
problem.
I know,
That's probably
but-
well. It's kind of it's
So there was just one landmine that guy happened to walk on. and
well
not
they're
anywhere
they're
else?
spread out all over the place.
And it was on the road.
Yeah,
Like, they're
that-
not. I'm assuming they're not on the road right
well,
now.
that's a problem I know they said they have out there. Is
Yeah,
that they
IEDs all over the place.
yeah, and a lot of times people get blown up like just, you know. Again, it's it's kind of funny. It's like you go to jungle warfare and you have a lot of like guerrilla warfare where it's difficult because they're hiding around every corner. Whereas here it's the exact opposite.
They're hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, there's
they're fighting in the towns and cities
Yeah.
of all
Yeah.
the people.
There's like you have to run out in the open. There is no
you
cover.
can't really trust anyone, and it's gonna make you a shittier person.
Yeah, you're paranoid because literally any person you walk by like an old guy sitting on a stoop,
Even
and
a little
Yeah.
kid. Like,
yeah, you walk by them, and as soon as you turn around, they pull out a gun and like shoot you. It's like, oh, okay. Again, that's the frustration a lot of these soldiers have when they go to like the Middle East is that literally it feels like literally everyone is trying to kill you. They don't.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't
You
want
can't. Like, yeah, you have to try to figure out who's trying to kill you.
you. Yeah. Well, again, the people you're there to protect are the people who are literally trying to kill you, and they get frustrated because it's like, why are we here? These people are literally taking shots at us. They don't want our help, and we don't want to be here. So why is this happening? That was kind of the whole issue with Vietnam. It's like, well, they don't want us here. What are we doing here? It's a war of politics. And unfortunately, these are the people who are the real casualties, is these soldiers who get dumped into a meat grinder. And they don't want to be there, the people don't want them there. It's some guy in an office in D.C. who signs off on a piece of paper that sends them there.
Was the first one like really kaiju focused, or was it?
The first one had a much smaller budget. Like Gareth Edwards did most of the special effects, like in his bathroom on his MacBook.
Okay.
Like it was but it was much more limited to what you saw because they couldn't show
But
as
I
much.
think it was more creative in that sense, though, too.
Well, he had to be because he had
Yeah.
like $5 and a ham sandwich as a budget. Whereas this movie clearly it's not a big budget movie, but it has a budget. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of action in this movie. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know why are they
Sitting
sitting
in
out
the open when there's a building right behind them. Move your asses.
But it does kind of show you that the irony is they have more to fear here from the people
Yeah.
than they do the kaiju. Because the kaiju are big and obvious. Like, you can avoid them.
I don't know, those little ones. I want to see what they can do.
Yeah, but the little ones aren't actively out there after us, as they showed. Like,
Yeah.
we were assholes to them. Like, if we leave them alone, they're going to probably just not, fuck with you. The big ones, you can literally see them coming a mile away. It's the human beings that are still, honestly, the biggest threat because...
Yeah, this is literally.
Well, I mean, wartime's still going on, so obviously the kaiju aren't slowing anything down.
This is literally just a war movie that happened to have some monsters in
Well,
it.
yeah, and that's... Yeah. And again, I think if the movie
Yeah, that's
had...
what I was wondering, if the kaiju were going to make a bigger impact.
Again, if this movie had like
Apparently
$150
not,
million...
unless it's going to have a huge turnaround here.
Hey, maybe it brings them together.
I mean, if this...
people.
Well, and honestly, I think the reason why they're focusing more on the human side of this is, again, a smaller budget. If this movie had a $150 million, $180 million budget, yep, kaiju. It's all about them. They're the big problem. But because they don't have enough money
Yeah,
to...
but look at the first movie.
Yeah, but the first movie wasn't
Oh.
super about them either. That's the thing. It was...
But I think
Fucking
it
crap.
was, but it wasn't. It was more.
Well, the first movie was all about
Careful.
immigration and
Well,
people
yeah.
trying to... Again, this movie is allegorical like the first. It's just a different allegory.
Well, yeah, but I still feel like the monsters had more of a presence in the first one.
They were more atmospheric in the first
Well,
one.
I guess
They aren't here, atmospheric.
Well, yeah, but here they're a lot more up front and center. The first film, they were really in the background, and you didn't really get a good look at it to the end of the movie. Most of the shots of them were just like night vision shots on TVs in the background.
Oh, okay.
So it was more, you would hear...
But I feel like overall you still saw them more throughout the movie rather than like, you know, we've seen them kind of like 2 or 3 times now, like front and center, but...
But it's nothing like... No, I'm wondering like why they're a threat.
Yeah.
They haven't done really much yet.
I know.
Well, and again, that was more or less how it was in the first film, too. It's just, they're so big that they just kind of cause trouble where they go. Not intentionally, but they're so large that if they move through a populated area, they're going to cause...
But something tells me they won't do that. They're not, like... They seem, like, intelligent-ish enough.
Oh, yeah, well, the first film really established that they're not dumb, they're not mindless. They're, again, I liken them to, like, as I keep saying, like, elephants. Like, they're probably that level of intelligence where they're self-aware enough, but at the same time, they're not actively out there trying to get us, but they're not going to go out of their way to avoid us either. If they need to move in a straight line and a city's in their way, by city. That's how they look. And that's kind of the problem where it's like, all right.
I don't know. Like, these big ones, they seem like they would go around it.
But here, there's not much city.
Yeah. Well, there are some big cities here.
Yeah, but they're...
I don't know. They just... I get, they have, like, the intelligence of a dog.
Again, they're not dumb, but they're not, like, they're not... I don't think they're contemplating their place in the universe. But...
Oh, God.
Yeah, seriously, I like Billy Mays there. Like, I would literally love to...
Billy Mays here!
He was the OxyClean guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot of those infomercials.
I'm trying to see where this movie was shot, because this is considered a British film. Wow, this movie was under $1 million. Oh no, wait a minute, I'm looking at what it made, sorry.
So you're saying I didn't make a lot?
Well, again, this is like the first film. This had a limited release. This was not a widely distributed movie. I know it did the circuit, like film festivals, that kind of thing, but it was a movie that was basically meant for like home media. Also, too, remember in terms of kaiju films at the box office, this came out the same year as Godzilla. So
there's a lot of low dialogue.
Look how yellow his eyes look there. It looks like he's turned into a fucking werewolf.
I wish.
Wouldn't that be something? Surprise!
I'm a monster. I'm a monster.
But no, I mean, hats off to all these guys in the movie. They're doing a great job. Like, I mean,
it's just not my kind of movie. That's,
yeah, and again, it's what it comes down to.
This would be my type of movie.
Huh?
This would be my war movies. My type
But again, literally, if that whole 15-minute sequence wasn't there, I would honestly care more. That's the problem. It's like that 15-minute sequence at the start, or right after the start.
Yeah.
To me, just kind of shot this movie in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just went a little too far with it.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, I get it. They're from a shitty neighbor. I get it, but like, I mean, they were involved with dog fighting. They were hurting innocent animals. They're running over and like, I mean, maybe people say, "Oh, you care about people. You only care about animals." And that's one of the arguments I've heard made. Like, no, I care about people too, but I just don't care about people who hurt animals unnecessarily. And I'm not like a vegan or anything like that. I'm just saying, I eat meat, all that's great, but I don't feel something should have to suffer needlessly. You know, and again, these animals were just being hurt for fun. That's my point. I'm like, but again, I kind of feel like maybe that is the point of the movie. It's trying to show you that we're calling these things monsters, and yet,
Oh, that is definitely
Yeah,
the whole
definitely.
point of this movie.
like, you know,
That's all.
which
There is nothing else. Yay! Go monsters!
I don't know. I'm really rooting for Billy Mays.
but
I
again,
do like Billy Mays.
I just feel
He's
this.
the only human I like.
But he's interesting, like
There's only 2 left.
because he's been there so long that's
Did I
not
say
like
17 years? Is that what it is?
yeah, he's been like embedded there. That's what I'm saying. I really want to see like I would have loved to have seen a movie where his character is with a platoon in the beginning, they all get killed, and then he's like wandering through the wilds of Afghanistan.
It's not over yet. His
Well, yeah.
whole platoon just got killed.
Well, I know, but then he's like, okay.
First trip out.
But then he's like, okay, then it's him bouncing from there. This terrorist group catches him, and it's basically him trying to get back to the base. And like this. Like, if this movie had been just what we're seeing now with him,
And I'm guessing that monster's gonna let him out.
or just not.
Well, not let him out.
Yeah,
I'm
but like
assuming he was
just,
gonna
knock down the building.
Yeah,
And,
but maybe not.
but that's my point. These things aren't. They're just passing through. But when they do, we gotta get out of their way because they're just so big. It's like.
Oh yeah, here it comes. Nice, finally. Oh, he's gonna pull some Jason Bourne shit.
Yep. Do it. Oh.
Only one guy went in?
Well, the other guys just all took off. You see, they were like, "We are out." Yeah, but this is how you survived here this long.
Yeah.
But see, I like how he has a respect for this whole place. He understands what's really, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Again, he's an interesting character, and I think the real crime here is that we don't know more about him.
Mm-hmm.
I am fascinated by his character. He
Kind of
is,
like not knowing.
well, I'm not saying do a 15-minute sequence of him at a strip club. I'm just saying like I really wanted him to be the lead of this movie, and maybe have one younger guy with him. Like I feel this whole thing should have been happening towards the beginning of the movie. Like him and this guy are like the leads. Okay, fine. You have the new guy and the seasoned guy.
Something tells me he's not making it to the end. Only this guy is.
Oh yeah, I do. I think so
Yeah.
too. But basically, like, okay, they all come with a big squad. Most of them get killed off at the very beginning of their first trip out, and then for the rest of the movie, it's these two, pretty much throughout the entire movie. The seasoned veteran with the new guy, and he's basically teaching him how to be a soldier on the fly. Like, here you go, kid, crash course. That would have been more interesting. I feel like all these other characters were just. I feel like we needed a body count in this movie, so we have a bunch of disposable characters that we're just going to kill off just so we can have a body count.
It was very fast that they all died.
Yeah, to the point where I'm like, even if we were supposed to care, even if that had been the intention of the movie, it's like
If they had better layout or like a better budget or something, there would have been like a little bit more. But
I just think they
Well,
all.
here's
this
the
is their
thing.
first mission out.
I
Everyone's
literally
dead.
don't know anyone's names. I don't even know. I know his because I was trying
Freighter?
to pay attention, but like I don't.
It's like Freighter and Forrest or something. I don't know.
It's like I think it's
Freighter Forest.
I don't know. You could call him Billy Mays or Batman.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, now I'm. Oh, that's cool.
there we go.
That's what I'm talking about. But see.
Go back to the eye.
God, talk louder, people.
You're
Stage
dead right
whisper.
now. You got dead. You're not alive. When you get dead, you're no longer a living thing. When you're a living thing, it's because you're dead.
Okay, stop.
But see, I'm actually now kind of more invested in the movie because now this is like, okay, it's still gritty, it's still raw, it's still a war movie, but now it's focusing on more about what we came to see. You know what I mean? Whereas the beginning was a little too detached from the monster stuff.
I hope this ain't just leading us on just to, not have any more. Okay, well now I know his name. So.
McGuire.
Gendry,
I know, right?
little blacksmith boy.
That was a sweet shot with the eye, though.
I know. So Did Frater
Kind of
just
looked like Billy Mays' eye. All yellow and shit.
I know, right? Dude.
Billy Mays turns into a kaiju at the end of it.
That'd
Oh,
be
That's
man.
the secret. It's not
I
werewolves.
want it.
He's been bitten by one of these things. He's turning into a were, you know,
Aware of that.
illithid. I don't know what those things are.
Elithid.
Illithid.
Elithid. He's turned into a giant Chlorota.
Did he get McGuire? Or not McGuire, God, now I'm messing up names.
The other guy?
Yeah, did he get Billy Mays?
I think Billy Mays is taking care of some stuff before he
Yeah.
gets this little youngin, you know.
Billy Mays is an OxyClean guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You already asked that.
He just,
Did I?
He did like a lot of those infomercials.
He's dead now, right?
Yeah.
Did he
Jeez,
die
yeah.
of a cocaine overdose? Or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
Right.
Pretty sure that's what it
I
was.
don't remember.
Pretty
I
sure that's
just
why he
know-
was also always yelling.
But there's that meme where it's like he didn't die. He's just out in like the Middle East cleaning up or something. But wait, there's more. That's why.
Oh, that was cool.
See, these things just seem curious more than like destructive.
Well, yeah, and that's what they were. They were drawn to light too.
Yeah, like electricity.
Yeah, because at the end they were at that gas station, and they were all drawn to the gas station, the two of them, because there was light. That and like
Which is
electricity,
kind of
like
ironic that they're here because there can't be that many places with electricity.
well, I think they landed here. They didn't
Oh,
come here by
okay.
choice. This is where they ended up. Was that Billy Mays cleaning house? Yep, that's Billy Mays. You dishing out some of that OxyClean.
Dude, I know you've been through some shit, but come on.
Seriously, I love that he's just in there, just literally cleaning house.
It said this guy did 2 years before, right? So what was he doing? He obviously was never actually. I know I say he never.
This character right here.
Yeah,
Well, he might not have been in like on the front lines. I mean,
obviously not.
Isn't this their first mission out?
It said said they had 2 years service and like 0 tours.
Oh.
So obviously they never actually. Had,
They were just like in training boot camp.
That's
oh
what
yeah,
I'm
well,
assuming.
you've signed up, but you haven't been deployed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's probably what it means. They're 2
Yeah,
years
this is their first like real
mission. Yeah,
poor Billy Mays because this shit show of a group.
I know.
that's a beautiful shot. Again, I love the way this movie is shot. Who directed this? Let me look real quick. Again, I really like the way this is done.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful movie.
Yeah, Tom
The
Green.
sandy, you know, mirages and
Wait,
shit.
like
Well, it can't be the same
Don't
Tom
say
Green.
that.
Who directed this movie? Tom Green. What? Hold up, I'm gonna.
I really wish it is that Tom Green.
Oh my
you know?
god. That was real, folks. By the way, you really caught me in a moment right there. I was looking at the what? It's like a movie moment where like the record just stops.
God damn it.
That's like Tom Green. That's
Emotional time. I'm not gonna be able to hear him.
Canadian comedian. Oh my god.
What?
it really was him.
No, it's not coming up with him.
The
You know?
IMDb the movie.
Okay, no, I'm seeing. That's not him. Okay, he just has the same name because at first I.
Well, yeah, he has the same name. We're trying to figure
But I
out
know,
which Tom Green
but I
is.
typed in Monsters Dark Continent and Tom Green. The first thing that popped up is Tom Green, Canadian.
Yeah, because
comedian. I was
Tom
like,
Green's 10 times more popular than this movie. 100,000.
Okay, I'm seeing the director, his picture. Yeah, so not the same Tom Green.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he did a fantastic job directing this movie.
I'm like, dude, you're fucked.
We will complete
That
this
guy
mission.
watching your back
We will complete this mission,
was greenhorn.
and then we'll complete this mission. We'll complete this mission.
He's just broken.
His entire, like,
It seems like this is
family and friends just died.
Well, yeah.
He's done mostly TV, like a lot of British shows.
Anything stand out?
He did that show Misfits, which I never watched, but I'm familiar with it. Kiss Me First, he Blackout, and then he did a couple shorts, Kid and Brixton '85. So this is, I think, probably his most biggest thing he's done.
I don't know why, but this movie makes me want to watch District 9.
Yeah.
But see, that's a good example of something realistic, but still what it is. Whereas this is like...
It's like their whole like setting and world is kind of
similar.
Realistic.
District 9 had, I guess the word I'd be looking for is personality.
Yeah.
District 9 had a lot of personality. It felt gritty, still had that raw. Check those off the list.
But it didn't forget what kind of movie it was.
Yeah, the movie itself had a character.
It's kind of like
itself.
Borderlands, the movie.
But again, it all comes down to just style. Like that's Neil Blomkamp's style. This movie is his style, so
it's like 95% realism, 5% not.
Yeah, but
I think the other is more of
a balance
blend.
Yeah, but again, you talk to somebody else, and they think this
is the shit. I
know. Which and I wouldn't argue with them. I'd be like, hey, you know what? I've said it before about the kaiju genre. I mean, science fiction in general, but kaiju films. That's cool. You see,
is that a railroad track?
Yeah.
You see every kind of facet of genre. Like you see films that are ridiculous. You see films that are deadly serious. You see films that are funny.
Films where the kaiju are just like atmospheric.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally something for everyone in this genre, and I've always told people that like there is a kaiju movie out there for you. And again.
At this point, I don't know if I would consider this a kaiju
I
movie.
know, I definitely wouldn't.
it's barely It
has room still to have a little climax or something, but
well, it's even with the first one. I added them late in the game because I comprised a list, and I had forgotten about them because they don't initially jump out at you when you think of kaiju movies. Ultimately, I decided to include them because A, just to have more commentaries, and B, they do kind of play a role in the sense that it shows you what the genre can be. So even if for me it's not what I want out of the genre, the broader the genre can be, the stronger it is as a genre, and it will allow the kind of kaiju films that I like to continue on because they're still making films that will appeal to as many different kinds of people as possible. So even if they're not supporting Pacific Rim, they might support this movie, which is still supporting the genre as a whole. So because a kaiju film
count that? Could you take those points for being kaiju? I don't know. I guess.
I mean,
there are kaiju in the film.
Yeah, and that's ultimately how I decided to put them on the list.
Yeah, air quotes.
Again, I would not call this like I don't
know. There's still time for the kaijus to do more than walk around and look at things.
And it's also the thing too of like budget, kaiju by nature are kind of expensive things. So
if you're getting cheaper and cheaper as the years go, though, right?
I mean, already this movie has way more kaiju than the first one. So
I still feel like I like how it was incorporated in the first.
Well, I do too, but that movie had more intrigue. This is more.
Yeah.
But again, I know there are some people who thought Monsters was boring as shit, and I understand.
I mean, maybe compared to your normal kaiju movie.
Oh, it definitely was.
But compared to this, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like.
But again, it's like there are people that I know that I would recommend this movie in a heartbeat to them.
Yeah.
Because I know they'll love this movie. And other kaiju fans that I know that I was like, don't bother, because I know they just would not appreciate it. It's like, again, like Cloverfield. I felt Cloverfield was another kind of polarizing kaiju film where I know some kaiju fans love that movie. Like, really, they really like it. And other fans just don't care for it.
If it was shot better, it's...
But we say shot better, but that's based on our own taste.
I feel like that movie just needed more of that kaiju, like, prominent.
Well, yeah.
Because everyone was hyped for that kaiju.
But I even had someone in the comment section say they loved the fact that that movie was the way it was because it showed that you could make a different kind of kaiju film. And they're not wrong.
I just feel like it's a movie that I could only ever watch once. Because after you watch it once, it's like the gimmick's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It doesn't get you again.
But like I said, I mean, it's the strength of the genre. It's what it is. It's not every film within it is going to appeal. Like, I don't own this one. I own Monsters, the first one, but I don't own this one. I like Monsters, but I don't like this one. Where I know there's other people who probably like this one better than the first one.
I like this movie. Like, I would watch this movie right now. I'd like it.
Again, it's not a bad. Well, now
I like war movies.
To me, the movie's way more interesting now.
I think if we went into it and I kind of knew up front it's basically a war movie and that's it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I went into it thinking this was going to be a 1.5-star piece of shit. And I was pleasantly surprised.
No,
It's
no,
not
this is a
too
damn
terribly bad.
good movie. It's again, it's a very well made movie. Well, and now that all the asshole characters are gone, surprise.
Yeah, I wanted just like a little bit more character development after the reversal of them all being assholes, and then kill them.
Well, that's the thing.
But that's fine.
Well, the opening shot when they're flying low over the giant ones with the helicopter, I think that's where they should have been taken out. I think their helicopter should have been knocked down. And these guys are the only survivors of the helicopter crash. And cue movie. I think that should have had a bit because again, those other characters. Because even during the dogfight one, like he felt bad. You saw him; he wasn't watching the dogfight. He wasn't looking. He's clearly like, okay, I'm not down with this shit. These guys are my friends, so I kind of have to put up appearances, but I'm not down with this kind of stuff. Okay, fine.
Ugh.
I think that's how they should have done it. But I think we stuck around with those other characters just too long.
Yeah, they could have shortened up a lot of the beginning stuff.
Yeah, well, I think when they're
done more.
yeah, well, I think flying over the helicopter shot that should have been where they got taken out.
I don't know. I kind of like the whole dynamic with like the farmer guy.
Or have them all die there.
I mean, they died right after that.
Yeah, but I think
It was
they should
them
have
leaving that scene. The guy was yelling at them because they're all pieces of shit. They died right there.
Yeah, but by that point, I'm like, I know they're pieces of shit. The movie's already shown me that.
But I like to see how these pieces of shit reacted when shit hits the fan, and it was kind of
I guess, yeah.
enjoyably sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, but because we're just dealing with a 2-hour movie, I'm like, I kind of want to just get to the character, focus on the
I enjoy like war movies, seeing how people react in these situations more than you guys probably do.
Probably.
I mean, you do make a good point. Though. I'm not even arguing with you. Like you are right in what you're saying. Like I said, it all comes down to just personal taste. Like I said, this movie, there's nothing wrong with this movie. That's why I don't.
Shit, is that little boy alive?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. Again, and it's showing you the price of war. It's always like innocent people, you know.
oh, he's gonna shoot him.
That's what I'm thinking.
What else can you do? He's gonna suffer more otherwise.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Again, it's like, you know, he's on his way out. Basically, he's just suffering.
You think he's in pain? You fucking hear him?
It sounds like
He could be just delusionally washed out at this point.
I think his lungs are collapsing on
I
himself.
know.
Yeah,
Sounds
because you can
like-
say he's got a bullet wound right there. Like he's basically breathing is hurting him right now.
Yeah, they can't save him.
Yeah. Yeah, his lungs are so weak that it won't even take long. Like it's, but see, right here, this to me is what I feel the movie's about right here, and I appreciate this more. Like this is, if you want to do gritty realism, I care about these characters. Frederick, okay, that's his name, but you know what I mean. Like I feel like this is the gritty realism you show, like this, because I give a shit about this. Like I give a shit about these two characters. Like I feel like the movie just kind of wasted too much time with those other guys. I'm just like, I just don't care.
Dude.
Yeah. Jostle him around. I'm sure that's gonna make it better. Jesus, dude.
But you see, again, he's new here, so he's still like, you know, we're here to do something. Whereas this guy's been there
He
for
knows
so
there's
long.
nothing to do.
Exactly. And that's why I think the story of these two together is way more interesting. Like, it's basically, this is how this kid is learning. Because they went over there, yeah, we're here to kill monsters. They went over to be like, G.I. Joe, and he's showing you that's not what goes on over here. This isn't a movie.
Yeah, your wits are going to get tested a lot here.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what your enemy is at all.
Well, yeah, and that's why this is so... that's even why Vietnam was such a mindfuck for people, because there was no clear line in the sand of good guy, bad guy. Like, half the time you didn't know who... Yeah, no, I definitely feel like the second half of this film is much stronger. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have room to improve. Like,
and they did. But it almost makes it worse, because it's like, oh God, I wish this movie would have been
through the first half.
Yeah, like this is good. Like all
Yeah.
this right here is damn good. Like I'm legitimately enjoying the film now, because I know I was bitching a lot in the beginning.
I know.
It's because I didn't give a shit. It was just the movie was just filled with just assholes. I'm
Parks. I finally learned that guy's name.
I know.
like this is all really.
It was, like, I feel like it was just the character development in the beginning. They could have done it a lot of different ways to get the same effect.
Yeah.
But they just chose some kind of out there ways.
The worst way.
Yeah.
I think it was too direct.
And here's the thing. If
They were just
you're
like,
trying
how
to
do you
go
make
for
this-
realism? I'm like, too realistic, they're assholes.
Yeah, like, they're like edgiest as possible, and that's where they went. And they could have toned it back a little or something.
Well, yeah, because again, it's like. Now,
But you can, like, obviously he's gonna have a change of heart after all.
Well,
his
and
friends
he wasn't
die.
even like the bad one. You
Yeah.
could tell that he was more like I'm a product of this environment. I have to kind of assimilate to some degree, but I don't really want to. Whereas those other guys, they loved it.
I
Like
mean,
they were
that's still a part of it. I
they
don't
were
really
they were
want to.
they were reveling in it. But he was removed enough from it where I was like, okay, I can get behind him. I can get behind him. You know what I mean? But those other guys, I'm just like, and I get that's what the movie was doing, because the movie took them out. Obviously. But I'm just like, well, then I didn't need the 15-minute sequence of them if they were just gonna die.
Oh.
And I think they should have died like even sooner.
God, it's such a mindfuck here. You're eating with them one time, you're getting shot by them another,
I know.
getting blown up the next day. What to expect?
Well, that's the thing too. A lot of the people over there, they even say like a lot of them are good. There are a lot of good people over there. It's just difficult because you don't know who's who, and the ones that are good, like they're good. They treat the American soldiers very well. But the problem is, it's like there's nothing to distinguish the good ones from the bad ones. You don't know, so there's that constant paranoia
Yeah.
that's constantly just eating away at you.
Aw.
See, all this I like. This is
I
good.
know.
Like I like all this. This is good.
I wish the movie, again, like you said, plane crash. Then if you have Elm survive, or just a couple of the other guys survive, and then have like
get shot
basically
real
cut
quick.
to that whole scene where they're captured.
Well, if you cut out that, honestly, if you literally edit out, maybe don't teach them how to shoot a gun. But well, actually, no. Look where they are. Maybe do teach them. But but like, if you literally just cut out that entire sequence, you don't feel like you're losing anything. Like, it doesn't create a plot hole in the movie. It doesn't do anything,
No.
and it actually makes me feel bad about the people who died. Like, if that whole bit wasn't in the movie, when I see that guy with his legs blown off, I'd be like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that sucks. And that other guy dying slowly in the chair, yeah, God, that sucks. But because you saw them just,
Yeah, with Gendry, my mind just kept flashing back to the fucking dogfight.
Exactly, and then like loving the fact that they ran over that poor animal, like it's like, oh, okay. And by the way, those things, we haven't seen them
It
kill
was just
anyone.
like 180, all that shit changed though.
Well, and that's the thing too. It just almost feels like a
Like,
different.
I kind of liked how they did the beginning. I just wish they did it a little differently.
Well, this feels like a different movie now.
Yeah.
It feels like halfway through we just switched gears.
Oh yeah.
But look at
This is kind of how we like. This is where the movie was going.
But I kind of wanted to get there sooner, because now I'm like, oh man, this movie's now giving the first movie a run for its money. I don't know, like if the whole movie had been like this, I
Yeah.
kind of would think I might like it better than the first one. Look, this is really not. I don't know, and I like slow movies too. As much as I love big action extravaganzas, like I like a lot of slow, like all this. I love this. It almost feels like a weird fantasy world, or like these huge titans moving across the land. Like I love this. Like, this is cool now, but I kind of feel like I could just start this movie by like the 40-minute mark.
I don't know. I think the beginning has its place.
I think it has
just
its
a
place
little different. Just tone it back a little bit.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, because they didn't. I think its place is in a completely different movie. Because at least with the first film, consistently, it was what it was consistently throughout. This feels more like the first movie now. The tone and the pace, slow, very atmospheric, not a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And that the kaiju are a part of the environment. They're a part of the world. They feel like, it almost has a Princess Mononoke vibe, where they feel like these gods of the land. They're there, and if you anger them, they will strike you down. But if you just leave them alone and just kind of stay out of and respect the fact that they own the land, not you, you can live amongst them. You know what I mean? And that's like these people are. And that's what I like. And this feels very much like that. And I love this side of the movie. Like, if more of the... I mean, I say I don't own this movie, but I'm not going to lie. If this movie... As long as it doesn't do anything that really kind of 180s all this now, I don't know. I might add it. It's just that beginning just really just turned me off. Like, I just was not feeling...
So it was very abrasive, the way they did it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's showing you, too, like, how they view the monsters over there. In a place where they're not there... It's, monster hunting, monster. Whereas here, these people live with the monsters. And look how they've assimilated. They've kind of created a symbiotic relationship with them, almost.
I thought so. That's the chick from the Mummy.
The Mummy, I was just about to say. Yep.
Tonic blonde.
I thought she looked familiar, too. She's a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
She was the best part about the Mummy.
I know.
Say what you will about the movie. It wasn't a great movie, but she was cool. I dug her. But I also kind of like, too, like this guy, he's been over there so long that he was very pessimistic, and his first thought was kill the kid. And it's almost like him and the other guy are complimenting each other. He's teaching the new guy to kind of be realistic. But the new guy's teaching him to kind of don't lose your humanity either.
I was gonna say, to be fair, before if those.
I mean, that was kind of lucky. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
that was lucky as shit.
But I think like they're basically kind of like yin and yang. Like
Yeah.
one guy's teaching you don't lose hope. The other guy's saying don't lean on hope because there's not a lot of it out here.
Yeah.
But the other guy's teaching
I feel
but
like
it's
this would be a rarity.
but at the same time
it's
don't
coming-
lose it either.
Yeah, it's like you kind of expect the other guy just to be broken and not able to have any hope, but it's not the case.
Yeah, no, again. Wow, this movie got good. God damn it! Like, you know what I mean? Like, it got interesting, and that's why.
I told you, I saw where it was going from the beginning.
See, you had hope. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I didn't have hope.
I'm like Billy Mays. I didn't have hope.
I didn't either.
You're the young
Like-
guy. You had hope. Oh my god, this movie just got so meta.
I don't know, building all the characters up to be assholes, I knew it was to like make you endear to at least like one of them later.
Oh, I knew they were gonna do that, but
It just took longer than I would like.
Yeah.
the other guys just like I feel like we wasted time with those characters when we could have had more with these characters. Like this is all so good. Yes, I dig this. I like this. This is good. This movie is officially really
What's he doing?
good. Oh, this is like some Apocalypse Now shit right here. I mean, I do this every morning in front of the mirror. I don't see why this is so strange. I just stare at myself in the mirror and... and then I hear at the door, "Sweetie, you almost done in there? Yeah, just another minute." All right, now we're good. Oh, that is
shit.
awesome.
See, it's doing the glowy thing.
Finally.
That is awesome.
Finally. Bringers of Death, come here.
But look how amazing that looks. Look
We
again.
haven't seen it like that the entire time.
I keep hearing that this movie is beautiful. Everyone kept saying that. You don't like the characters, but the movie looks amazing.
I mean, the movie's been beautiful. All
yeah,
up to
but this
point.
is like, oh my god. Like, when you see it from the people who live here, their perspective, these feel like gods. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I'm sure as long as you don't fucking, shoot them immediately, they're fine.
Well, and that's, like you saw in the first movie, too. Like, when they encounter them and the U.S. military wasn't bombing them, they were like,
What's it doing?
Is there a little one on the ground?
I
Or someone
think
that's dying, maybe?
Looks like it. But...
It is a little...
Aww.
Yeah, I would literally own this movie now just for the second half.
I know. Just
I-
skip... Fast forward.
Yeah, and I'm not even joking. Yeah, I'll literally skip through that stuff in the beginning because the stuff in the beginning is so uninteresting to me that I don't care. But all this stuff is
I
so
know.
good that it makes you want to just watch it just for this.
And see, the monster did what they
What
want
the
to
fuck's
do.
going on? Some Avatar shit.
It put it out of its misery.
Yeah, they did with the other one. Like, I think that's what it's doing.
It's... What'd you say it was doing?
He said, "What's happening?"
No, like, what's actually happening? Like, was it from the first one? They did this too?
I mean, it was different in the first one. Yeah, I think this is how they spread their spores. When one dies, it spreads it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff I like to know about. I got like little jellyfish.
It's like Awa.
Yeah, really, this is like Avatar. So now, when you see in the beginning when they're just killing them, it's like when you're running them over, like, and that's. But I guess that's what the movie's
I mean,
trying
what
to
if
show.
these are cancer spores? Like, it looks beautiful. All right, I'll give them that. But they're probably really dangerous for the Earth.
But I think it, like, it's like you said, they're trying to show.
Did you see how many of those spores there were?
Yeah,
too?
well, this is
That's
what-
scary.
Well,
That's why they're not gone.
Invasive species.
Well, it's also why too they're across the continents and
Yeah.
different oceans. It's like they can. But it's I get what the movie's trying to do. It's trying to show you like those are the guys who were assholes and we are the monsters. I get that. So the movie's point is definitely not lost on me. This is.
I understand. Like they were trying to portray these guys as assholes, and they just took it too far in the
Yeah.
beginning.
It just lasted too long.
Listen, it wasn't even that long.
Well, that 15-minute sequence was just too
15
goddamn
minutes.
long. Like I keep going back to it, but that movie that just eats up.
It was a little long, but it makes like
Again, this
some
is
parts make more sense.
This is all shot so differently too, which is just this is just like cinematic porn. Like it's just so beautiful, and the tone and the paint. It's so slow and atmospheric, which again I know some people actually don't like, but I know I love movies like this that are very kind of just like atmospherically heavy. I love that. I love movies like this where it's just shots like look at this.
It's just fucking sandy everywhere.
It looks. Don't do it. Don't do it. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh shit, don't. I could feel the words like slowly vomiting up out of your face. I was like, oh god, no.
Oh man.
And then we're back.
I have no idea what their mission is.
I think they're trying to do recon, bring people back.
Was that it the whole time?
I don't know.
I was gonna say, where is everyone? They just kind of.
Was the kid dead?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was screaming himself up.
That kid was gonna die. There was nothing they could do.
Oh no, yeah. I feel like he was screaming himself up because he knows he has to go fucking finish this mission.
Again, he's not wrong. That's the thing. You get where he's coming from.
Well, considering he's been there as long as he has.
And the irony is, these people here probably knew that too. I'm sure they probably would have, if they came upon that.
I want to see them ride these, by the way. That'd be amazing. Ride them.
That would be really cool.
I know it won't happen, but I want that to happen.
Hey, you never know. This movie surprised us.
I know, right? What a twist!
What a twist! Again, it's one of those things where if those people had found the kid first, they might have honestly put him out of his misery too. And they probably realized this young soldier is new to this too. Like they all kind of get it, you know.
Oh, they all talk so quietly.
I know.
Which is kind of the irony of that whole sequence with like the big one killing the other one. It's kind of showing you like even they put their own other image, like saying it. You have to accept it basically, and I think that was her way of showing him what the guy would, you know, Billy Mays just showed him in a very aggressive way, was that it's necessary. Even the monsters, quote unquote, get that. She kind of did it in a much more beautiful, spiritual, cinematic way. Whereas Billy Mays is just like, fucking kill them.
Oh, baby.
I get the feeling this is going to go bad.
He's gonna like ruin like an ancient tradition where they raise these things. I don't know.
But again, it seems like the people there are starting to kind of just form like a symbiotic relationship with them.
Yeah, they're just another animal almost.
Do they get wings when they're young?
And now all of a sudden Billy Mays is the asshole.
I know, right?
Look.
Because he's gotta be.
Oh, jeez.
Instantly not cute anymore.
It's kind of interesting that they burrow in the sand and kind of protect themselves. Again, I like how each, depending on where they are in the world, they seem to kind of again, these are very different from the ones in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because this movie has more money behind it. That's the real. How come these are so much more evolved? Well, because they have more money.
In the dark before, which was cool, but
yeah. Well, the other ones were more. Also the ones in the first movie they're in Mexico, so they're closer to water, so they had, I think, more of like a water-based kind of system. And you also saw them moving in the water too, so they were much more. These are more built for land.
Extreme opposite.
Again, I wouldn't even mind seeing a third Monsters movie. See them in like a different environment.
Antarctica.
I was just about to say like a polar environment. We see them in jungle. We see them in desert. Yeah, let's see them like in a. Or like the forest, even. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like,
the forest would be terrifying.
Now it's middle.
I'd like that.
I would love to see them honestly look like trees, like
kind
blending
like
with.
An ant.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, where are they? Like, you don't know if you're walking amongst them or a tree, and suddenly some of the trees start moving, and you realize, like.
Because really, if it's thick enough canopy, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Like, some of these things.
Be like Skull Island with the spidery things in the bamboo forest.
Yeah, oh yeah, they look like that. Or literally they physically now look like their environment. That'd be cool. Again, conceptually, I like this idea of kaiju. They basically come down in spores, and they basically
They're unkillable because how fast they reproduce.
Yeah, and they perfectly.
But they're like
fucking spores, man.
They're kind of like ancient, like overseers or something. That's what the vibe you get from them.
Yeah,
they're like watchers or something.
Which I like. I like kind of the mythology of these kaiju in these films. So I wouldn't mind seeing a third movie
where they flesh out and focus on the kaiju. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, really the science behind. Or maybe now someone, because all these films, the first film was like people who were just behind enemy lines. They just had to get back. These guys are soldiers, but they're there more to kind of take them out. I would love to see a film where, again, someone...
Are they, though, or are they there just fighting the war?
Well, they're there, but they're still there in a combative nature.
Yeah.
Whereas I would like to see a film where someone who's going there where the kaiju are on purpose for the kaiju.
Yeah.
I think that would be
like
something
a Bermuda Triangle thing where no one's come back.
Yeah,
the whole forest thing, and it's like a horror movie. I'm digging that idea. I want them to do that. And it focuses on them more.
Because now the person is there specifically for them. And imagine even like the beautiful nature sequences like we had in this movie with like the forest, where you see like a forest coming alive.
Yeah, we never saw them laid up. Apparently that's how they jerk off or have sex with themselves or whatever he was doing.
Way to take away a deep emotional meaning. You know that beautiful sequence, when he was like, I don't know, jerking off? Was that your takeaway from it? Yeah, I love that sequence in the movie. Yeah, which part? The one where the guy just jerking off. Wait, what? Maybe you saw the director's cut?
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
It's more gritty and real that way. Kaiju jerking off? Yeah. Feels real that way to me. Oh, that kid's gonna die, isn't he?
I feel like these people are like...
Hey, alright, well. At least the kid's a decent shot, right? I don't know if that makes him more or less dangerous.
Was this where they were supposed to rescue those people or something?
Probably, or this might be the people they were looking for.
Were they looking for people?
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah,
that's what he was yelling at him about.
Like that was their mission.
Like they need to go do the mission.
That's basically a rescue op.
I just wasn't sure what the mission was. Should have put subtitles on, because sometimes when they
I know.
Oh yeah, I couldn't hear shit.
I know. We probably talk. I know someone's gonna be like, "Oh, they said it," but yeah, we were talking. But again, yeah, this is a very.
A lot of this movie has such low dialogue volume, and everyone's talking quiet and gritty.
The irony is, the only time I can really hear people is with the actual game they were shouting.
I know.
The rest of the movie is just,
But the visuals in this movie are good enough to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, that whole. It's funny. 15 minutes of this movie ruined this movie for me, and then another 15 minutes saved it for me. Like it's weird. Like
I know
that whole 15 minutes again, and it feels disconnected from this too. It almost feels like a different movie. I want 2 hours.
Very ham-fisted.
Yeah, but it was gorgeous.
But like I felt like it was kind of necessary. Like
you mean the beginning?
Painting these people as assholes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess, but I just feel like they could have been taken out sooner then, because ultimately
they were taken out pretty quick.
I still think that chopper ride in the very beginning over them, that should have been it. Because again, ultimately they were superfluous to the story. It's really it was this guy.
Like it could have shortened it.
Yeah,
a lot,
this guy was what mattered, and these two together are what ultimately save this.
Or movie. They could have just had like them being assholes in that town they showed him in, like just embellished on that a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe kind of show their assholeness within
the town when they first showed him.
Because I think the cutaway to Detroit was a little like, oh, okay.
Oh, this guy's getting too rage heavy right now.
It seems like all these guys are.
Oh, the rookie's gonna have to save him. Yeah, he snapped. Shit.
Yeah. Again, the acting in this movie is phenomenal. Like, the Oscar goes to, you know what I mean? Like,
Jeez.
again, I was gonna say, I wonder if this was gonna end with like him shooting that guy. Like, basically showing him this is what happens when you stay there too long.
None of them know why they're there anymore.
And the sad thing is, you see almost how unfazed the kid is by it. Like, this is not his first rodeo.
Oh, I know.
And it makes you wonder, too, have they seen Americans go nuts over here? It makes you wonder, all those guys over there, is that what happened? Did they all just lose their shit? And they had to put them down? Like, you know, you figure, like, some of these people are like, you know, the Americans or the soldiers who come there, you know, supposedly to fight for them, it's almost just like these guys snap over it, and it's no different than like.
Well, I mean, it's such a mindfuck over there for them.
Well, even the insurgents forces, it's like it's no different for them. They're just people who are just shooting at them. Ultimately, you know what I mean, and that's all they see. It's just guys with guns pointing it in their face. They don't care if they're American. They don't care if it's people from there. They're just like, every day we've got some asshole sticking a gun in my face. I don't care where you're from. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should have taken that away.
Well, I think he's going to kill himself.
I think so, but... Oh, no. He just took his bullets out.
Oh. Well, he got shot, and like, Lord, he's going to bleed out. Like,
yeah.
honestly, it's more cruel that he shot him that way, really, because
Yeah.
it's a slow death.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to. You know,
He doesn't want to,
He
but
doesn't want to shoot him. He's not going to shoot him in the head.
but it's almost like it's worse by not doing it. But again, I think this is like the lesson this guy's showing him. It's like, this is what happens when you stay here too long. You become me. You know what I mean? Like this is not what you want. This is what coming over here turns you into. It, you know, it
All
turns,
these situations are so complex. Like,
exactly. Like,
it really takes a toll on you. This is probably not the first group of kids he brought in here to die.
probably not. And he's probably seen this happen already. And it's just,
Man, that went clean through.
well, that's like he's probably bleeding internally too.
Yeah, he
Like he's
definitely
going
is.
out. Like,
See, what are those explosions happening?
I don't know if they're are they explosions or are those the kaiju on the other side?
I can't tell.
I can't tell if it's rock or smoke or... Oh yeah, it's rock.
I mean, it might be landmines too. Them
It looks
triggering.
like rock formations jutting out of the ground.
Oh shit!
Oh no,
Is-
they're the monsters.
Oh, that's that shot I saw in all the trailers. The big beauty shot coming up.
Is this like the queen bee or something? Or
I think this
I
is.
think it's just a bunch of them, like a herd.
oh, okay. How you always see them in packs. This is just like when the
Maybe
spores go into Earth. and then
Maybe
they
you saw
grow.
the little ones go underground.
Yeah.
I think this is them emerging
Uh,
Yeah.
when they get.
Huh. And there's another helicopter.
Is he gonna live?
I don't know. Well,
Probably not.
the problem is, if he doesn't own up to it, you know, they'll probably go and shoot those people. So he almost like if he wants to save those people, he has to take responsibility for it, shooting him.
I mean, what?
Those ones look different.
Oh damn! Look at that.
Yeah. They look way fucking cooler.
Well, I think they're ever evolving too. Like they keep changing. Yeah, this is stuff I kept seeing in all the trailers for this movie. Like this sequence here. Like, look at that. That is amazing.
Yeah, those are like different ones.
What?
Whoa.
I want that. Can we have the whole movie of this, please?
Oh, God, this movie is gorgeous to look at. It's touch and go, this movie for me, but there is enough, now having seen it in its entirety, there is enough in this movie for me to own it. Because the good parts are so good.
Yeah.
I just think if they did the first part a little different, it would have made it would have flowed better.
Well,
it's just the first part's so abrasively weird.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, for me, I can literally just cut past it, and I don't feel like I'm losing anything.
I feel like
With that scene when they were all in the chopper at the very beginning, flying over them, to me, that could easily be the start of the movie, and I don't feel like I'm losing anything from it. So, I don't know. But, again, that's just my opinion, and that's all
If
this
you
is.
guys made it this far,
Yeah.
sorry about our bitching.
Again, and like I said, people, I don't speak for anybody else.
Yeah.
If you like this movie, then you know what, more power to you. I'm one of those weird guys who actually likes Alien 3, so I have no room to, bitch and moan to anyone about their personal taste. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace!
Bye-bye.
Peace.